In the top left... Oh, well, who's MCCanning? In the top left, as the red Protoss, it is Numi. And at the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, it is Oliem. So, which one's MCCanning, guys? I don't watch him enough to know what his accounts are. Olem is his EU account. Okay, so gotcha. So this is MCCanning. Disruptor tennis does sound amazing. Ooh. So another PvP for our delight, but one that's not going to be Phoenix versus Phoenix, and Disruptor versus Disruptor is approximately 10 times more fun than Phoenix versus Phoenix. As someone who likes Muta versus Muta, and Phoenix is often compared to that, I actually think that Phoenix are still the lamer of the two. Not because it's Protoss and I'm like more Zerg or something like that. No. But just because Muta is often... Muta versus Muta is more often decided by, like, the ground, it feels. In a lot of situations, than it is by just, like, oh, I have more Mutas. Whereas Phoenix Wars are almost always just like, oh, I had more Phoenix. You know, there's not nearly as much action on the ground with Lings and playing in the Ling Baneling game. And, you know, upgrades rarely come into effect in Phoenix because I think only +3 affects the kill shot, which is what you're really looking for when you get those upgrades. Yeah, we're not going to see that as a point, so I don't know. I'm just bringing it up because there's nothing else to talk about. They're both still building and scouting, and I guess we are on another new map for the season, Kairos Junction, which is almost like a Final Fantasy VIII character, but not spelt the same. I don't have any thoughts on this map other than, like, it's kind of a... As far as, like, aesthetics go, it's like meh, right? It's just like a bunch of dirty stuff. Dirt and, you know, rocks and dirt being the dirty stuff, I guess. And you got a nice little natural. It's no ramp on the natural, so you gotta be careful about those aggressive, just frontal attacks, more so than you are when there's a ramp directly at your natural. As a Terran, you know, I want to build a bunker. As a Protoss, I don't know, maybe I'll actually put my units more over here, for instance, and try and get that high ground in this matchup type deal. We have a very fast Twilight Council for MCCanning. They both opened up, I believe, for the same units. I thought, oh no, I thought I saw a sentry from Numi, but I guess I was just seeing double, basically. So Olem is MCCanning is the only one that got the sentry. That's going to give him access to a faster hallucinated Phoenix if he was going to play like a macro-oriented style, but sometimes we do see, if this is paired up with a very fast Robo, for instance, we've seen some more Prism attacks, attempts to actually force field off the ramp, you know, good old Wings of Liberty strats, right? But we do have hallucinated Phoenix being used, but it's not necessarily... the most macro build that we've ever seen. I mean, it is still that Nex is going down ahead of Numi. Numi still gathering up his stalker count, is about to slap down that Nexus, I think. Oh no, I just slapped at a third gateway. Oh, I didn't even see this proxy pylon. I'm out of shape, guys. I'm out of casting and observing shape. So yeah, that makes more sense. You're gonna put a proxy pylon down, they're gonna use it to be aggressive, and even though that didn't mean a third gateway, it still would have meant more emphasis on warping in those stalkers to try and get that snowball effect. But yeah, third gateway is third gateway. So MCCanning does the smart thing. Hallucinated Phoenix scouted that there was no tech, right? That's a big scout in and of itself, even though I didn't technically see the third gateway. And I don't even think it saw that the Nexus wasn't quite down yet, so... this is a very appropriate response for what you don't see, right? And then we have 3 shield batteries on the way. Ends up being overkill. Like, if MCCanning could realize that the army has left, then if he cancels the third one, that would be the best scenario possible. Unfortunately, that's going to finish... you know, if he knew the army was going to leave, he wouldn't have let any of them finish, right? But really unfortunate there, as the Hallucinated Phoenix had been used to scout the attack coming in the first place. And unfortunately, Hallucination is kind of a high-energy... spell. It's 75, I think, or Force Fields are only 50. Sounds like someone is ready for a vacation. I think it's the opposite. Someone's ready to get back into casting, man. I'm really in the holiday mode, which isn't great. I'm getting fat and complacent. Bleh. Bleh. We have a Hallucinated Phoenix now from Numi, who did warp in sentries as soon as he decided to go ahead and get out of the attack. Robo obviously being used to pump out Immortals. We're on to that next stage of PvP. Had MCanning not realized that there was an attack on the way, just been like, okay, why are you being aggressive with Stalkers? It's very possible the game just ends, or MCanning takes significant damage that this is basically ended, right? So because MCanning responded very appropriately, the game does just kind of continue on. They're both in somewhat even positions. I mean, the nexus of MCanning obviously being about 50%, right? As opposed to just 100% right now that Numi is. That's not great, but it's gonna definitely be something you can change with Disruptors, and that's something you always gotta think about when you know someone's gonna do a style like MCanning does. If this is a direct head-to-head, okay, they're both gonna do the exact same thing, blink to blink, immortal to immortal, yeah, being down 3 probes in a literal mirror matchup is going to actually be devastating, unless the War Prism gets in or something like that, right? When it comes to Disruptors, I mean, what are they? You don't really know what's going to happen there. They could hit 5 extra Stalkers, they could hit no extra Stalkers, and you actually are just straight up behind. They could cost too much so that you die before you have an extreme number, or you get that one that gets a beautiful shot and it saves your life, right? Like, it adds a lot of complexity to the PvP matchup in that regard, and then in the other regard, it's just lol balls fly forward and hit things. Attempts to blink out a little mismicroed there. One takes severe damage, the other one is loss. This is a 2-step up high grounds. Not that it matters for blink stalkers. But a pylon was attacked, was killed, and depowered some stuff. Really annoying pylon too. The one that you know, Protoss players put so perfectly for their wall, and then once it's done and they have to immediately replace it, they realize, oh damn, I need one right here. So that's what Numi's gonna realize. Yep. As a non-Protoss player who sometimes plays Protoss, I do that a lot. I get Bailing busted, I get, I don't know, attacked and killed almost, and I'm like, okay, I gotta repower my buildings, then I inappropriately repower only half of them. Did it take out a sentry? Did take out a sentry. Alright. I thought Numi only had 2. I mean, I guess he's up to 3. Disruptor versus Disruptor. Disruptor is now official. You need Blink for that, so Blink is finishing up for Numi. 2 robotics facilities for both players, but MCanning is the one with probably a lot more experience in this composition, and is one already with a Disruptor out, so. But Numi's on his way to recovering by having slightly faster second Robo. Blink forward to try and get something there. Actually backfires on our Red Protoss, really, as the Disruptor does not go down. And the Immortal chunked away at the Stalker that did blink forward. And down to the third next. He's got a Dark Templar on the way. Not just good for harassing probes, literal, you know, can you do probe damage, but also good for distracting your opponent. They look away once just to build a cannon or something, and then suddenly, boom, Disruptors get really good shots off. MCanning has really gone from being the defender, the reserved one, to being the attacker and controlling the map. Fortunately, does lose that Disruptor without getting too much of a great shot, and with only 1 down. Alright. Only down to 1, is forced to retreat, even a force field to try and help the retreat, but Numi now with his own Disruptors can try and equalize whenever he starts off taking a bad fight anyways. Dark Templar is also on our Red Protoss's mind, and just continued Chrono Boost on the Disruptors. I mean, you really don't want to stop making these guys until, what, like 8? I think I've seen some Protoss players even go up to like 12, something absurd like that. Things are quite even. We have +1 now being researched for the Red Protoss Numi. Upgrades not beneficial towards the Disruptors, and oftentimes it is just Disruptor wars that are going to figure out who wins this game. But on the off chance, you know, you blink forward, that 1 extra upgrade means that your 7 Stalkers did one-shot the Disruptor, however many it takes, I don't know. That could be a significant difference, and if it does end up going into more of a Stalker versus Stalker fight, well, then obviously upgrades are very important. That was weird, the Stalkers must survive somehow. But this is, oh my god, that was actually a really good shot! That killed quite a few units right there. And then I was going to say, it's actually got more of a distraction, as you do have the Warp Prism going to the main base. Only a shield battery, no cannon, so the ZT is going to add some damage here. He scouts his opponent, DT, his Dark Shrine anyway, and while MCCanning doesn't have a lot of DT defense back at home, Numi doesn't have any way of getting his DTs across the map. In fact, he's too busy dealing with the attack still ongoing at his third base. There is an observer for Numi. Oh my god, good shot there from Numi. And as I was saying, he does have his own observer, and MCCanning does not. So this one DT that was warped in is doing a bit of work here. The Warp Prism is targeted down. Oh, nice Disruptor shot from Numi, who doesn't save the Warp Prism, but saves the Disruptor and takes out most of MCCanning's army, but the main is still in trouble. Disruptor's gonna go down here. Warp Prism's still alive. DTs to clean up the Zealots, but not of the other DTs, which is really, really stupid. The Observer has to come on over. Oh, actually, here it is. It's got 2 Observers even up here. Whoa, okay. That will take care of the harassment, but Numi took a few probe losses, lots of structural losses, and just a lot of time taken away from mining, as well as focus on the front. So he was lucky to get a couple of those nice grabs that he did with the Warp Prism Micro that he was able to achieve. But with the Warp Prism going down, it means that MCCanning still doesn't have to worry about being harassed on his side of the map, and he still doesn't have defenses against that in case it does happen. And finally, might have an upgrade for our MCCanning boy, but he might not really need it. Despite things kind of leveling out there army supply-wise towards the end of the fight, because of all the damage done on the main base, MCCanning really has skyrocketed forward now with a 4th Nexus, 60 probes, and about 20 more army supply with the Warp Prism that did so much harassment minutes ago, still alive and very, very healthy. Even managed to save a couple of units, so there we go, warping a few more. Now here comes the defense against the Dark Templar cannons, shield batteries, the works, as 1 DT finally makes its way across the map for Numi. It's not really getting a lot of damage done. Just the pylon, not even the pylon. Wow, all right then. Well, you're probably gonna want to build a second pylon there. Okay, it does. Once again, we're going to see the same idea of an attack. MCCanning is looking for the attack. He finds himself being attacked, which is a little surprising, but he'll work with it. And while this goes on, he's probably going to try and send this Warp Prism to do some damage. There are cannons and shield batteries now, and even an Archon that looks to be stuck. It can't quite make its way through this gap or this gap, so that's funny. But I guess it'll help versus the DTs now. The Zealots and whatever. Is an observer up there? We're at the 3 observers each. Yes, there is an observer. And cannons, of course. So MCCanning would really need quite the warp in of Zealots or DTs to make this work. Unfortunately, it flies right into the cannons. Not quite paying attention there, but the cannons actually start shooting at the Zealots. So if this had turned into Warp Prism mode, if it had just immediately warped in, hey, maybe something happens. But it looks like that's going to be cleaned up, no problem. Meanwhile, Numi makes his way to the middle of the map, and oh my god, we missed something there. Hold on. I don't know how to rewind, so we're gonna spoil it. Oh lordy, that actually looks like a lot, man. Hold on. What happened here? Oh, he wasn't paying attention to him! But still, managed to grab 2 Disruptors for the 3 that he lost. MCCanning makes the best out of that situation. And even grabs, whoa, a ton more Stalkers from that 1 reinforcing Disruptor. That is really, really, really good. And the Stalkers come from behind, take out the rest of the Disruptors from Numi, and he's forced to retreat. Now significantly down to that army supply, but at least his main was not really touched here. At least that he's got that much going for him. But Numi knows that he's up against 4 bases with only 3 of his own. His own harassment gets absolutely shut down here. Doesn't even kill anything, it looks like, and things are not looking good for the Red Protoss, despite almost finding MCCanning totally unawares. I guess MCCanning had lost track of the army, or just assumed that the army was going to go towards the 4th, and it actually just ran right up the middle. That is not a very big army for a Red Protoss, but it's Disruptor Wars, so things will go kind of weird. Am I seeing this wrong? Is MCCanning still sometimes stuck in trying to micro against Disruptors, the old Disruptors? Which Disruptors haven't changed, by the way, so much, but I'm talking about the Disruptors that exploded on impact upon the first unit. It looks like he's still doing that micro, which is not necessary anymore, but he also could just be scouting sometimes with 1 Stalker, and I can't tell I can't tell what's actually happening. Yeah. It used to be that's the micro you want to do against Disruptors. Now it's just a matter of blinking away once you know the cooldown's up, which is visible to everyone, so. Good old Disruptor Wars. Whoever shoots first gets the hit, unless they miss micro it. So that's what's gonna come down to, you guys. Whew. Nice. One is gone there. Oh, but a lot of units gone right there. Nice there for Numi. But it looks like MCanning has finally forced his way through. So even though we still have these really stupid Disruptor Wars, it's going in favor of MCanning, who inches his way forward. But uh-oh, we're lacking an observer on the front line. It's stuck over here in kind of a random location, but I guess that was one of 3 at one time. So he thought he could just leave it there and scout any potential base trades or run buys. Instead, he absolutely needs that in the front lines. He could try and time out a Disruptor shot to kill it, but then he might kill his own units, so it's a little scary. And it does just retreat. Oh, what the hell? What the fuck? What the? Okay, that might have been on purpose. I wasn't actually tracking those 2 units. I thought they were like Zealots or DTs or something. I know they were actually Disruptors. They come out of nowhere, and they don't really get any good shots, but that was an almost fantastic idea. Fortunately, just giving their lives. And it does look like it's indeed on purpose. Or, no, it's a rally. No, he's rallying it? I can't... I actually looks on purpose. He's rallying them, yes, but he's also literally sending them forward, so it does seem to be... The idea is eventually force them back onto the ramp where they're going to be all types of choked up, and then boom, get the amazing shots that end the game. MCanning is still slowly working his way to victory. He's definitely in the lead. We had a little bit of something going over here. Still probably not worth sacrificing 2 Disruptors at a time. Not yet anyways, but one day they're gonna get those amazing shots. MCanning has a lot of bank, now going to 5th base. Might want to add on even a 3rd robotics. No, I actually can't afford it gas-wise. Oh, so it's a little light on gas. Uh-oh. Okay, paying attention. It's all good, it's all good. Despite Numi being significantly down in that supply, overall supply, still managing to just scrape by here and get a 4th base. I mean, ultimately, if you keep your Disruptor count high, then, like, you know, kind of nothing else matters. But, oh, speaking of which, a couple of Disruptors go down for a couple of Disruptors, so at least Numi makes it a quite, kind of an even trade, but when you consider the economy that's behind all of them, it's not really even. But finding 2 more Disruptors is a really nice pick-off. Numi's still kicking despite the significant difference. Now 50, 60 almost supply difference. That is just... I mean, even in Disruptor Wars, that seems to be kind of the number that's just like, okay, you can aim, move, and win, right? But nope, not the case. 4 Disruptors still on the offensive for Numi, who's now just going to be able to take out a base, but as his much more important 4th base gets taken down, so I'm not really sure this is going to be worth it. Disruptors coming back for MCanning, try to get the shots, but Numi just simply walks away. Not really caring about his Nexus anymore, didn't even get the cancel, just has to let it go, and it's killed. Disruptors come forth for MCanning from every which direction, isn't it? Like from the left, from the right, of course he's being the ones that are reinforcing. They're going to wait for the next shot when the army goes up the ramp, because at this point it's turned into a bit of a base trade, and eventually the ramp will have to be compromised. But we have a lot of units in different locations. DTs are really being the hero here for Numi, who manages to take care of most of MCanning's army. The Disruptors that went back to try and get the surprise shots on Numi's army are actually just simply taken out, but it looks like they were able to grab the Disruptors. So now it is 0 Disruptors to 2. Oh, no, actually to 5. Oh my god, to 6, actually. MCanning still has so many Disruptors. Numi's trying to rebuild that counts, but the DTs are the only thing that's really working here for Numi. That's actually his observer, so he knows that this DT is not being seen, but there is a sacrifice of 1 Stalker to kill the DT. How many observers does MCanning have? He has 0 observers now, officially 0 observers, and I'm really shocked to see him not making any, considering that he still has 8 Disruptors. 8! Like, that's when you can make an observer or 2. Ugh. Nice micro there. Take out a DT again without an observer, but 1 is finally on the way. Does Numi have his own observer with the army to attempt to snipe? No, it's not with the army. They're in surveillance mode around the map, but they could still maybe help grab the observer and continue the rampage of Numi's DTs. I mean, if we could see a graph that has, like, usefulness of DTs in this game, Numi's would be quite, it'd be quite red. As that was kind of the thing that saved him in that almost base trade there. That and appropriate reactions, I suppose, actually watching his army against MCanning's sneaky Disruptors. So MCanning still has this 50-ish supply lead of army, equal upgrades. In fact, MCanning's going on his way to +3, but he's replacing the 5th base that he lost, this time at a more secretive location. So the Observer has been here scouting this the entire time. Not so for the other base. You now also have Zealots included in the fight, finally. They do have charge, something that Numi was never able to afford. So they could, theoretically, they could help out versus the Disruptors. Because, you know, using Disruptors against Zealots when you're all in a ball of your own army can be a little dangerous, but more often they're used just for harassment. So we have a weird reaction of warping in Adepts to help clean them up, and that actually really works quite well. And the Zealots don't really seem to be that useful, but it's all about the Stalkers up their war on the front line. Numi now evening up the army supply. He just oh my god, and then that happens. Alright, just kidding. Doesn't even matter what the armor supply is. If you don't have any Disruptors, the game is actually just over in favor of your opponents. So unfortunately, being a little too aggressive, thinking that maybe he was in a little too much control, or perhaps just desperate to take a good fight. What the hell's happening with my mouse? Because he knew how important this base was to keep. Whatever reason it was, he lost all the Disruptors and is now forced to go back to 0. No, actually he has 3. Okay, I guess they were just stuck in the natural. But still. Down to 1. There you go. These two. Looks he had one reserve. These 3 Disruptors are all that's really going to be able to afford, as he is running quite low on gas. But again, we have a heroic DT coming to try and save the day. 4th Nexus goes down. A DT, no, a couple of Adepts actually glided their way over here. But simple enough charge at warp in cleans them up, and MCanning is still in control. But damn, Numi has really almost brought it back a lot because of the DTs, but even a couple of his own really good Disruptor shots. MCanning just proves to be a little bit better though. Ooh, oh my god, just balls of flame everywhere. That's mostly for the Stalkers. Numi's got his count back up to 4, going on 5. Every single little bit of gas seems to be going into that. Can't really afford to get any more DTs or reinforce with a lot of Stalkers. I guess if you were to choose a unit to make with whatever gas you have left, Disruptor would be a good unit. Gas not really a problem for MCanning. So much so that he's not even mining fully from these bases. Yeah, this is basically game. Numi back to that like 60-ish supply down. It happened before and he was able to bridge it a little bit. Never fully bring it back to even, but he was getting close. Maybe it can happen again. Maybe just like 4 amazing Disruptor shots just absolutely obliterate MCanning. Oh, are these shots obliterate Numi? Oh no! It finally happens. The backstab Disruptors get the exact hits that MCanning was looking for to end the game. Meanwhile, also dealing a little bit of damage here. That was the distraction that let those Disruptors get those hits. Exactly what MCanning's been trying to do for basically 15 minutes of this game. And it finally happened, and it was glorious. Now all has to happen is removing these last few Disruptors of Numi. His last bits of hope in this game, and there it is. Only 1 is left over. Oh my god, is he gonna get a great shot though? But still not enough. GG is called. GG indeed. Well done, MCanning. Well done, Numi.